Right, the following is an assessment of an online course using the Quality Matters rubric. I'm using this course because at the time it's the only one that I have all of the modules released so that I can clearly go through all of the Quality Matters standards. Starting with the course overview and introduction. First of all, this main page has all of the elements listed in the overview and the introduction, starting with the professor or the instructor profile information, how to contact, multiple ways, phone number, email address. Also then over here on the right-hand side, included with the course overview and introduction, are technical suggestions, the overview of the course, the syllabus, module due dates, and actually an orientation video to help participants who may have never used this tool before. Let me just show. So here in the course overview, okay, everything is clearly stated about the course, the timeline of the course using D2L. It is mentioned that there's a help discussion board, so there's a way to get in touch with the online instructor if needed. Okay, and again, there's also a discussion down here at the bottom about D2L and if someone would need that explanation for how to use it, where they could go to get further information. According to the Quality Matters standards under the course overview and introduction, you should also list the course expectations. Here you can see our links for the Student Code of Conduct, MU policy, course netiquette is here, the discussion board expectations, and even an example of an exemplary discussion board post. So overall, there's a lot of information listed here in this course overview and introduction. Moving on to the learning objectives. For this particular course, each module, while you can see if you open up the syllabus does state overall the catalog description, okay, and it does also talks about the learning communities, the course goals, policies. Everything is listed here for an overview of the course, but a nice thing too is that underneath go back to the home page here. Underneath each module, so it really shows a nice learning progression. Each module clearly states the objectives, and then to go even a little bit deeper, there's an overview of the whole module. Listed there as well are a checklist of all the requirements, and then actual directions for the assignment that needs to be completed for that module. And then there are links also embedded within each module that can be used to help. Moving on to the assessment and measurement standards. While there is a module called assessments, that's not really where these items are located in this particular course. But underneath the syllabus, again, everything is clearly stated. Go down here. It states specifically what will be graded in each module. It also states the exact points that will be received for participation in each module. If you go down, it goes into even more detail about the grading criteria for things like discussion boards and products that are created in this course. It explains then the grading procedures, okay, the total percentage points, and it discusses a revision and late assignment policy as well. So everything here is outlined clearly as far as the assessment and types of measurements that are used in this course. Moving on to the next standard is instructional materials. Each module, again, has a list of all the materials that will be needed. The syllabus also does, but I like that each module here tells you all the materials that you'll need. For this example, or for this module, we had to read this chapter, so that was my starting point. I read this chapter, and then it goes step by step what has to be accomplished and what materials will be used. It lists the technology that the professor would like us to use, and then it tells us the final product that needs to be posted in our discussion board. I particularly like how this module it does build, or there's a definite progression. You read the information, and then here we had to develop a survey, and then we had to actually use a technology to show our survey results, and then we had to discuss what our results meant for our upcoming project. For the overall end of the end of the course. So it all sort of flows together, and that is one of the standards, or one of the criteria underneath the instructional materials model. The next standard is learner interaction and engagement, and this course definitely requires the students to be engaged, as after each activity or assignment that each class participant takes part in, there's always a discussion forum, and it goes beyond just a one-sided discussion where you post your personal discussion. You're then also required to respond to the postings of two of your classmates. So that sort of keeps that the one-on-one discussion going, like would take place in a face-to-face classroom. Another part of this standard is that the requirements for student interaction are clearly articulated, and if we go back to the beginning here, if we remember, there was a discussion board expectation. So it is really clearly defined here about what is expected for our classroom discussions, or our online discussions and feedback to our classmates. Moving on to course technology, which is the next standard. There are definitely a lot of different technology or new technologies that are used throughout this course. Right from the beginning, our very first module, we were asked to do a camera confession. So right away, an online technology we were asked to use, which was to take a screencast-o-matic of ourselves sort of in a camera confession. And then moving on to module 2, we were asked to complete a survey and then use a new technology tool. For some of us, it was new for me. We were asked to put our results into a Piktochart. So there are definitely, with each module, new technologies that we're being asked to use, and they definitely match or fit the course objectives. Moving on to the standard of learning support, or learner support. It's identified up here. There's a couple different ways that the participants or the learners can get support. One, there is a help area or discussion board or chat room where classmates or participants can post questions that the professor can reply to. And then the other area here is technical suggestions, and this is really where if you can get the help with the D2L or different software, you can receive a phone number where to call the help desk if you're having technical difficulties. But then it's also stated here that if you do have any type of a learning disability and you need accommodations, that you can contact the professor, and his phone number and email are then once again located right here on the front of the page. I think the accessibility standard also goes right along with the learner support standard, in that pretty much this is covered under either the help chat room or the technical suggestions chat room, or it's pretty clear that the professor can be contacted if you are having difficulties with accessing any of the information for the course. So that's my evaluation using the Quality Matters rubric of this online course.